I am live, and you are watching the recording of this video. You should probably go to jollyrogerukulele.com to pick up the resources we're going to be covering today. In the meantime, I am going to run over and grab and post the link of this video for the live session. And if you are watching the recording, which you are, you should fast forward about 7 minutes, and that's when we're going to get started. I usually start about 5 after the hour, and it's 2 before the hour right now, so that should give you how far forward to go. And that'll give me a minute to greet everybody and to get our link up on the site, and then everything will be lovely. Make sure everything's working correctly here. Delete, highlight, paste that as pink. That, hit return. Homeowners, Buffalo Gals, and Ash Grove, those are all public. All right, so let's go make sure that this page is working correctly. And obviously, if you're wandering into the room and you are live and you're like, hey, I'm going to tell Gary his sound is awesome today, that's helpful. That's the only thing I can't check from here in the studio, that my sound is okay. I mean, obviously, it's me. So Lanny is here. Good. Lanny is here. Sound is good. Lanny's a professional in the broadcast industry. So if he says I sound good, he knows that it sounds as good as it's going to get. So welcome in, everybody. Hey, Carol, she's from Nathrop. Yeah, Nathrop. That's how we would say it, right? Nathrop or nothing? Nah, it's Nathrop. I think I'm pronouncing it right, Carol. You'll let me know if I'm not. Sandy is in. Hey, Sandy. Minette is in. Glenwood Springs, one of the great places in America. Maria's in. She's from Broomfield. It's also one of the great places in America. Hey, Laurel. That secret song! Exclamation point. That makes me happy, Laurel. You got 2 secret songs, right? You got the easier one, which is not easy, and then the harder one, which is really not easy. So, had to give you guys a little bit of a test to see how you're doing. The easier of the secret songs, the chances of you knowing it are this. The longer secret song, yeah, there's almost a pretty high chance you'll know it. So, let's see. Kat says, hey, Gary, my class with you yesterday was really... Right. Honestly, Kat, here's the thing. You gotta call up the university and you gotta say, listen, from let's see, and you're from 1 to 2, I'm busy. Don't send me any students. Don't send me any administrative work. I don't need any paperwork. I don't need to deal with the fire alarm. I don't want to talk to the custodian. I got 1 to 2. I have 1 hour a day where I get to go to musical nirvana, and I get to turn off life for just 60 minutes. That's all I'm asking. See how that goes. Call him up and tell him that. Just send him a bulk email. Send everybody who's likely to interrupt you. Just say, look, and by the way, you guys should be doing the same thing from 1 to 2. That's your meditation time, right? 12 to 1 in here. Well, let's see, 11 to 12, right? No. 12 to 1 on the West Coast. So, yeah, we got to stop that getting interrupted, Kat. That's not going to work out at all. Hey, Red, welcome in. Laurel, do I submit? Laurel, rather than you guessing what it is, I'd rather you keep that a secret, right? We want everybody to have a good chance at it. You could definitely send me an email if you want. Love to hear you play it. That's what I'd love to hear you play. That's what I'd love to hear you do, right? And before we get too far in, how about at midway today, I'll talk about how you get me little videos of what you do, because most of us have a phone now, and it should be fairly straightforward of how you go about getting a video to me. But it has been a bit of a technical challenge for some people, and we want to fix that. So hopefully halfway through I can talk about how you get me stuff. Lynn is in from New Jersey. New Jersey's in big trouble. They're having parties with 700 people in them. So I don't know if they're in big trouble. They should just stop it, right? Elizabeth Planet Kerr. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm in. We've just been graced by royalty. Elizabeth, good to see you. So delighted you're here. She has a lot of stuff going on in her life, and the fact that she's spending any time with us at all is a miracle. So delighted you're here, Elizabeth. Carol, they say May Thrupp. That's what I thought. Okay, Jana's in from Texas, Waco, Texas. Jacqueline is here. Christine is here. Renee, Pauline. Let me see both songs, and they have one, but I'm stumped on the other. I'll keep looking at it. So on the secret song, guys, the first song, there's so little chance of you knowing what it is. I mean, it is incredibly remote. That's why I pick it, right? I want you to have to feel just you and the notes on the page, and it does have a musical sense about it. You'll know when you have it. It will sound like a lovely little tune, but I want you to fight your way through it with just straight up paper, right? And the part of the reason is that when you're dealing with those secret songs, or when you're dealing with a piece of music that's straight off the page and you have no idea how the song goes, you're in a world of hurt, right? And so you're really, really, really it's what a lot of students, they'll say, I want to take piano lessons, and then they go to, and their piano teacher say, give it a music. They don't know what the song is. They don't use their resources to figure out what it is. They're just going face to the wind kind of thing, hoping they'll figure it out. It's really, really an unpleasant activity on many ways. Even in the mornings when you pull up your crossword puzzle, you've done 80,000 crossword puzzles before. You got a pretty good idea what you're getting into. But with sheet music, that's not necessarily true. It doesn't matter how many you've done before. If you're facing the blank, the page with no other resources, it's tough. And the shorter of those songs, there's almost no chance of you knowing what it is, but you will know what it is when it starts to come out of your ukulele. It will start to make sense. The song will come together and you're like, yep, that's what it is. Put your own words to it, and that's what's actually going to be fun, is to see how many of you can come up with some poetry to go with it. And then the other one, there's a pretty good chance you actually have heard it before. So Ukdoob is in from Argentina, 4 o'clock there. I forget you guys are further east than I picture. In my mind, Argentina is right straight south, but you are further east than I think. Phyllis is in from Ontario, 3 p.m. there. She's on the eastish coast, right, toward the east. Linda in from Sonoma, 81. Oh, I thought you said 61. I'm like, what? Working on the secret songs. Cool, very exciting. Elizabeth, you're very kind. That boyfriend of yours is getting to be a pretty good guitar player. I hope he's keeping it up. Let's see. Clay, good to see you, bud. Diane, good to see you. Made it home in time to check in. Diane sent me a terrible email about guinea pigs and the Last Supper. It turns out, I don't know if you know this, but they served guinea pig at the Last Supper, according to this one painter. Brutal. Come on, Jesus, step it up. Order vegetarian. I know. Believe me, I know, right? It gets a little dangerous, some of the comedy. All right, let's get going. It's 105, 106 already. Jeez Louise. You start making Last Supper jokes and you know you're going to be in trouble. So let's move on to music, huh? We're going to play La Cucaracha. So let's pull that one up first. Okay. The other thing, guys, August 24th, it looks like, well, let me talk about that halfway through. We'll have a few people log in late because they think they're too smart for La Cucaracha. So we'll talk about it here in a minute. I need to talk about the schedule, and I need to talk about Laurel's idea of, hey, what do I do once I'm done with this secret song? Linda, I'm here. It's windy and hot, and I know it's hot today here. Does anyone get the same? Everyone gets the same secret song, so don't share information. Keep it top secret. Shh, shh. Everybody got the same 2 secret songs. Okay, so all of you are dealing with the same issue. By the way, if you don't have the secret song, send me an email. I'll send it to you, and you can try to figure it out. Bob's in from San Jose, and requesting the secret song. Carol, did you send that email today? I haven't looked at email yet today. So if you send it today, I'll send it to you tonight. But everybody who had sent me a secret song request as of last night should have it. So, and we're having, as always, we're having a little bit of problem with some people going into their spam boxes and stuff. I don't have the ability to fix that from this end. You have to talk to your own software or your service providers and see what you can do to get my emails to make it actually into your inbox. My favorite thing is I send out the email from our condominium association to all the condominium owners about stuff that's going on. There are 100 people in the building, right? So there's 100 emails on the list, and it goes out to 100 people. Well, somebody at some point marked it as spam, and it's probably somebody moving out of the building, and rather than just taking their name off the list, they marked me as spam. Well, now my own email that I sent to myself in the building as a president of the association, hey, your water is going to be turned off on Thursday. That email that goes to 100 people goes into my spam box, and I cannot for the life of me get it to stop doing that. And I have tried everything. So the Microsoft Corporation is protecting me from myself, and thank God we've got them, right? Let's see. Hey, Jennifer, welcome in. Jennifer's getting ready to teach this stuff for real, so we gotta try to take it serious. All right, really late getting started. Why? I'm just busy chatting. Let's play La Cucaracha. La Cucaracha has this chord, G chord. Bum, bum, bum. Dun, 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 dun. Make sure your index finger is above your middle finger, or life is going to get sad. Okay. Ukulele here. Thumb not sticking up. If your thumb is here, you're making your life so much harder. Not here, not over here, not down here, not this way, right? Like a lot of people who play it with this way. Thumb is pad of your thumb, perpendicular to the neck. G chord, and your thumb. Look what, right behind where my middle finger is all the time. Wherever my middle finger moves, that's where my thumb's going to be. Okay, that's G chord, and your other chord is going to be D chord. Index, middle, ring, bum, 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 bum. Okay, all right. I don't know if I can sing this song. Let's try it. I know I can't sing the words. I think I made up the words. Once there was a little cockroach. Dun dun. All right, I'll just do the dun dun duns things. Okay, in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun, and then D chord. Dun 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 dun. Da 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 dun dum. To the top. Once there was a little cockroach. She was born without a leg. I don't know. I can't sing it. Anyway, you know the 2 chords. I'll have to learn how to sing it. G, 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 D, D, D. Okay. So you only thought about the chords here is if your D chord is really, you're having a hard time with it, you probably need to get a bigger ukulele. If you have a tenor size and you're still having trouble, then you probably are going to have to just suffer through, right? Those of you with really big fingers do know it is not against the rules. It's not exactly great, but to put your index finger here, middle finger on top, and ring finger underneath there, that is a solution to the D chord for some of you that have real big diameter on your fingers. And so, but you don't really want to do that because you're going to want to be in this D shape, especially for other stuff we have to do down the road. Okay, I can't sing that song. Let's play the melody. Grab your melody. Okay. And by the way, when you're teaching somebody, don't teach them chords first. That's a waste of their time. Teach them melody first and then teach them the chords. Okay. So from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That may be why I couldn't sing it. I was singing the wrong melody. Keep going. Go back to the top. Once there was a little cockroach. She was born without a leg. Oh, all she wanted was to dance. Oh, dance the jig while music played. Okay, keep going. And then I didn't mention this. The second time through, right, you just got to skip measure 8. You jump into measure 9. Okay, so instead of played while she danced while the music played, the second verse. Why don't we start again? Let me get it straight. Okay, now we kind of know what's in the song from the top, from the very top. Let's play it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Once there was a little cockroach. She was born without a leg. Go. All she wanted was to dance. Oh, dance the jig while music played. Now go back to the top, okay? But that little bitty cockroach, she closed every dum. But the music always charmed her, and she danced again today. The little cockroach, the little cockroach. Turn the page, go, there it is. All she wanted was to dance. She didn't mind that her leg was missing. When she heard the music play, go up back to measure 10, right? Because that's where the repeat takes you back to. The little cockroach, the little cockroach. Keep going. Danced a jig while music played. Her joyful heart leapt, a leery eye wept when they chased her out the door. Okay, so we know how the melody goes. The words, I think we ended up adding the words. The words are obviously in Spanish, and we changed them and made them as close as we could get. So that's the melody. Okay, so let's go back and try the chords. From the chords. Okay. Once there was a little all right, I think I can do it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Once there was a little cockroach. She was born without a leg. Oh, all she wanted was to dance. Oh, dance the jig while music played. To the top. But the little bitty cockroach, she chased every lamp at door. But the music always charmed her, and she danced again today. The little cockroach, the little cockroach, all she wanted was to dance. She didn't mind that her leg was missing. When she heard the music play to the number 10, the little cockroach, the little cockroach, danced a jig while music played. Her joyful heart leapt, her teary eye wept. Then they chased her out the door. Okay. I can't sing. But you got the idea, right? The nice part is you want to be able to make sure if we can get from G to D and back to G. That's going to come up. It's going to be part of what you do as a musician. A lot of times when you're in the key of D, G, D is going to come along for the ride. And so you just want to be ready for that. And I think being able to get your D chord on and then over to your G chord as newer players, that's an awful lot. That's a really quite, you got to move everybody around, right? So spend a little bit of time just working them back and forth. It is a lot, okay? Let's see. Oh boy, Evelyn is really working their way through all these computer things. Glad you're getting your computers up and running though. Patty made it in. Good to see you, Patty. All right, let's play the tough uke. Okay, nice and slow. We know how the melody goes. We basically got the chords in, and so we want to go through. I'm going to do it thumb, beautiful. Just make this like it's some sort of opera, and then we'll go back through and we'll talk about staccato playing. Okay, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the top. Back up. Playing a little bit on the fast side there, but yeah, it's just supposed to be a fast song, right? And so probably maybe played a little bit too fast for me, but it's kind of fun, right? What we want, hey, Kari, welcome in. Sounds beautiful. It's me playing, right? That's how we would play it if we were playing tough uke, right? Oh, beautiful thumb down, get all the notes connected. We want it to sound just like we were, I don't know, on a boat on a river in Venice canal. We want it to sound beautiful, right? That's what we do around here. But you don't want to play this song this way. This should sound staccato. Dun 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 dun. Okay, so instead of doing these beautiful strum, I mean, ukulele ends up sounding staccato a little bit anyway, but we really want to emphasize that. So let me give you some tips on how to do this. Okay, grab your G chord. Okay, instead of thumb down, we switch to claw, right? Because that's going to sound much more plucky. When we are lift up, we're going to do two things. As soon as we're up, we're also going to be lifting, not off, okay, but just up to stop the sound. Okay, so I'm just lifting this guy up. I don't know if you can see it. And I'm not even lifting it up. I'm just relaxing my grip just a little bit. Okay, so different than, which is what we normally do, that we want to last as long as possible. Right? Let's not do that. Let's lift up and lift up on your left hand. And again, don't lift up, just loosen your grip a little. Okay, the other thing that we'll be doing is once you pluck, put this back down on the strings to shut the strings up extra good, okay? Because like on this one here, you can lift this up, but this guy's going to keep ringing because you don't have any fingers on it. Right? You can't really hear it. Okay, so what we want to do is just go ahead and put these fingers back down on top of it. Get the really, really staccato sound to it. Okay, let's try it. I'll do it real slow the first time, and then we'll go through and play it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoop. There you go. Nice stop for the. What we were working on there is the cockroach dancing, right? So we want the music to match the story. Okay, sure, you can play it tough. You could sing it with your beautiful singing voices. No, I can't, but you can, right? Um, and you could turn this into this lovely melodic blah blah blah. But that's not what we're after. We're after the cockroach dancing around the floor and people chasing after it, trying to kill it, and running out the door. And they're like, "Oh, I still hear the music." Running back in, dancing around, dancing around. Dun 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 dun. That's what you're after. Okay, so it's this technique to practice, and then you can use that staccato technique on anything else that you want to do. You bring it into. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something flowy and beautiful. Colorado Trail, right? But we'll play. Ding, 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 right? And we don't. And so, oh, Valerie finally made it. Okay, now we can start class. All right, here we go. From the top. If you want to play it staccato, like I just touch it, you should. But if you don't want to play it staccato, you do this. And if you're not comfy with tough uke yet, which is okay, right? You may be a newer player, and that's still a whole lot for you. Play the melody with me. And you can do the same exact staccato technique with that, just one note at a time, right? Just. Right, and just be lifting that up just as soon as you make the sound, lift it up, and then try to get your thumb back down on top of the string to shut it up. Okay, let's try it and play it any way you like. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love that song. I like that song a lot. Right? I think we just started. I think we found that one when we were doing songs from old Mexico in this class, as a matter of fact. What seems like 6 years ago, but it was probably 6 weeks ago. Um, and I realized that's a two-chord song. That's really fun to play. We could practice staccato on it. That's what I'm going to do from now on. And so I took something else. I don't remember what I took out and put that in. But it's in the key of G, right? So that gives you a chance to work on G chord to D chord, G chord to D chord, G chord to D chord. And then if I remember right, and you guys will correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that we just tried to get the words just as close as we could to the original idea, not necessarily the original wording itself in Spanish. And the story is that there's a little cockroach, and she just loves dancing to the music, and she's missing a leg, and she dances anyway. And then they're always chasing her out of the building, and she just comes right back in and starts dancing again. And you gotta love that imagery, right? That is great songwriting if there ever was any. Um, so super fun song. I like it. Let's see. Q is here. Looked up Buffalo Gals on Wikipedia. It was written by John Hodgins in 1844, as you know, who was a prospector. Oh, he was. Oh, prospector. I think you meant, right? Yeah. So, 1844. That's an old song. All right. Enough with Cucaracha. Let's talk about just a few things going on. One, secret song. I sent out secret songs. There's two of them. There's a shorter one, which I'm almost 100% sure you've never heard. Almost. There's a very remote possibility that you would have run into it, but I can't imagine it would have been likely. So don't talk about it here. Shh, shh, shh. Don't say what the songs are. Okay, so the first one, I'm pretty sure you don't know what it is, and I chose that because I want you to put some words to it. Okay, so I want you to figure out how to play it, and you'll know when it's coming out of your ukulele. I promise the song makes 1,000% sense. There's nothing. There's no weird notes in it. There's no. It should not sound like a contemporary piece of music. It's an older piece of music. All of the things work. I put it in a key of F, as you notice, so to make sure that you were not cheating, right? So it should come out as a real song that makes perfect sense. I want you to put some words on it, and I want you to turn it into something really beautiful. Okay. Then the other song, pretty good chance you have heard it. Don't talk. Don't say what it is. Okay. But I set it in the key of A to one because that's how it fit on the ukulele. It really did not want to fit on the ukulele very well. So that was my first thought was I got to get it to fit on a high G ukulele. And it'll work on a low G too, of course. But then you've got plenty of interesting chords in there to keep you busy. You've got a chance to figure out how the melody goes, write your tab down so it's easy for you. And I'm telling you, when you take that challenge on, and by the way, if you didn't request it, send me another email and I'll send you those out tonight. And if you had sent me a request as of last night, I had cleared all those out. So if your request was from last night or before, you should have that piece of sheet music. If you sent me a request today, obviously you don't have it yet. But if you didn't request it, you should request it, okay? Because here's what you get to do. You get to work in two kind of weird keys. F's not that weird, but it's keys that are not C, which means you've got some sharps and flats to deal with. You get some pretty easy chords on the first song, some pretty interesting chords on the second song. You get to learn how to take a piece of music from plain old standard notation and then figure out what that looks like on your ukulele fretboard. And I for sure would be going through and filling out the tab sheet underneath each of those notes so that you don't have to keep thinking about it, right? So, and this is important. Probably I'm thinking about this week in Global Institute talking about arranging a piece of music because I have followed the same exact pattern now for God, I don't know, 12 years, 15 years, something like that, where I no longer want to get a chords and lyrics page. For a while, I would actually go through and then I try to figure out the notes and all this stuff. I don't waste my time on that anymore. I take exactly what you got, which is the melody line and the chords, which I can get for $5.99 from Music Notes on just about any song I'd ever want to do. I sit down, I type those in, those notes, and I put the chords up there, and then I start the process of making a ukulele-ifying it. And so the first thing I do is go through and fill out my tab, make sure that I don't have to think anymore, right? It's much faster and easier for us all to read tabs. And then I go through and I say, all right, I got the tab. Now I'm going to copy that down into the tough line. And then I'm going to see how much of those chords I can put in underneath all of my melody notes. And I've followed that system forever, and it absolutely works. And once you get comfy with it, you're not going to need me anymore. You're going to be writing your own music and creating your own tablature. It won't be as good as mine because mine's the best, but it'll be pretty good, right? It might be better, who knows. And the idea would be, here's the melody line, copy it onto the tab. Now take the chords and the thing you just typed onto the and put on the tabs and combine those so that you end up with your own tough uke for that. And what I notice with my private students that I've worked with on that activity is inevitably about 80% of our arrangements match identically. They do exactly what I would have done because it makes sense with the music. But about 20% of it will be different than I would have done. And sometimes I'm like, why are you going to do that, right? And sometimes I'm like, gosh, I wish I'd have thought of that, you know? So there's a bit of both of those. I do think the activity is actually very helpful for you in lots of different ways. You're going to get to comfy with those dots up there mean something, right? And they mean something on a tablature basis. That way you're reading both systems simultaneously. I don't work. Sometimes I work from tabs to sheet music, and sometimes, but most of the time, I work from sheet music to tabs, and because it's much faster, at least initially, to work in standard notation than it is to work in tablature. But once I know what's going on in the standard notation, then it's duck soup to put the tabs together. And so occasionally I go the other direction if I've started with a song that I'm really plucking out on ukulele and I just needed to represent it up in standard notation. But that's less common. And so all of that, being able to do your own arrangements is important because some of you like really crummy music that I'm never going to arrange. And so you will go get your sheet music, type it in the standard, pull it down onto the tablature, add in the chords underneath there, and then you have your tough uke for whatever song it is that you're going to play. And of course, I write a lot of music, but it's not even close to all of it that's going on out there. So we need more people doing that. And if I can help you get that system in place, you can start writing your own sheet music. And it's well, yeah, I don't necessarily recommend it because, as you can tell, I spend most of my time writing sheet music and not near enough time playing the music. And so, if you want to be a performer, you don't want to go in that direction. But if you're gonna teach, or if that's an activity that's just kind of fun for you, then you go in that way. And then certainly, if you want to compose, you got to get comfy with that system as well. So, hopefully, all of those things that are coming at you. Just one more thing to do. If you do it, you do it. If you don't do it, it's fine too. And then when you're all done, you got choices of getting it to me. If it's just all on paper, get your phone, take a couple of photos of whatever you did on paper and send it to me. But I'd really much rather have you grab your phone, put your thing right in front of you, hit video and hit record, and then you can play. Guys, you don't have to be good, right? You see me screw up all day long every day here. Playing instantaneously for a video, it's never going to be perfect, probably, unless you are playing something significantly below your ability. And even then, you got to get a pretty good chance of messing it up. Get the video on your phone. 2 ways to get it to me. Well, there's really one way, okay? You can't, the videos are too big. There's no way to get them to email them. You just can't email them. They're usually, 50 megabytes or something, and it's just way too big. So on your phone, you can download Dropbox, okay? And what Dropbox is the cloud. And so all you do, put the app Dropbox onto your phone, and then you take the video from your phone and put it over into Dropbox, and it'll upload into your Dropbox. And that way, nothing ever leaves the phone. And then when it's all up there, then Dropbox will say, your file is ready. And then you can go copy that link to your Dropbox and send me the link through email. And I will put up more directions somewhere on Jolly Roger about how we do that. But that way, the video that you take of yourself stays in your phone. You upload it to Dropbox, not upload it. Yeah, you do actually upload it into Dropbox, which is the cloud. And then you send me the link to your Dropbox. Then I can go straight in and watch your video. It's never left your phone. I don't end up with a copy of it. I don't have to worry about that. I have a video of you from your youth that I'm going to have to bring up against you when you apply for the Supreme Court. And the whole thing is just a really kind of nice, easy way for me to see what you're doing. A lot of you, I don't even know what you look like, right? And so that's an opportunity for you to do that. I'm on video every day, right? And I know there's good things and bad things about it. But what I do know is that when you play for the video, you have this sort of higher level of, God, I got to get it right. And so at least initially, you'll make a ton of mistakes. You'll just be like, oh, I'm the worst player ever. But then after 72 takes, that last one, you'll be like, whatever, I made a mistake here. That's the one it's going to be. And then you can upload that to Dropbox and share it with me. So I'll put a few more directions on the website about that. But I would love to hear what you guys are doing. I'd love to see you. I'd like to see your hands. It's the single biggest drawback to the system we're using here is I'm assuming you're playing great, right? And you probably are. But if you're doing something weird, a lot of times if something's holding you back, just by watching you play, I can usually make a suggestion or two to help you, smooth out your playing ability. And so that's kind of what we're working on. And I don't mind taking a look at your videos. Honestly, it doesn't take me very long to look through them. I'm not going to go into a great detail like I would in a private lesson about, here's how you adjust your bar or whatever, but I can make, I'd love to see what you're doing. And I particularly on an assignment like this where you're coming at it cold, you don't know the song, you don't have any tablature, all you got is the melody line and the chords. I'd love to see your process of putting that piece of music together and then sharing it. Okay, that in and of itself is a huge step forward for most ukulele players. A little scary too, right? And so, but you don't need to be afraid of me. I don't have a ruler. I will not hit you. Okay, I just want you to get better, whatever you're playing at. And I do also, as we've talked before, taking a moment to mark your place in time. This is how I was playing this mystery song at that point. And then 6 months from now, you go back and look at it and you're like, God, I was terrible back then, but I'm awesome now, And so that I do think taking a video of yourself once in a while is a good idea. Besides that, you know how much a month you're paying for these dumb things? Use it, right? We all drank the Kool-Aid. We're stuck with them. Here's a link to my ukulele session. Sorry, I won't focus on melodies as much as you do. I'm trying to convince the teachers to use it in different ways. Awesome, Jennifer. Great. Good. Jennifer, you are... I won't focus in as much as melody as you do. Well, you should. No, I'm kidding. Jennifer is building a program out there near Chicago, and we're gonna support her in whatever way it makes sense. So glad you're doing it, bud. Linda, sure. Do you do a secret song in pencil? I'll make sure you. Yeah. Oh yeah. Make sure you do the secret song in pencil. My first secret song was Moon River. I wrote the whole thing out in pencil. I made up the tablature lines because I didn't know how to run software back then. I still have at least a photograph of that. I don't know what happened to the original, but I do. The whole thing was done in pencil, and it's a mess, right? It's absolutely not how I arrange stuff anymore. But it got Moon River out of it, right? So, yeah. Send me a secret. Is there a time to do the tough? Is there a time to do the tough uke assignment? I don't know that. I don't understand that question, Jennifer. Oh, it's a new assignment. Okay, you emailed me about secret song. Thanks. Okay, Q is here. Looked up. All right. So I think hopefully we got most of the questions answered on chat. Let's go on to Colorado Trail, and let's talk about. I talked about sharing stuff. August 24th, guys, we start level 1 introduction to ukulele all over again. And right now, you may on the website, I'm starting to really try to think through my schedule and stuff. This time block here will stay the same, and we're going to be doing the more advanced piece of music during this section. I'm trying to really get you as many tools, get you a chance to use all of the top level tools. And so this section here, we're going to try. I am going to be Succeed. We're going to start every class about 5 minutes after the hour, and we're going to wrap it up about 10 minutes before the next hour. The reason is I know a lot of you guys are going to be going back to school, or a lot of you are guys not, even worse, not going to be going back to school, and you're going to need to plot your time out accordingly at home. And so I want to make sure it's possible for you to finish up whatever you are doing by the top of the hour, have 5 minutes to get settled in, tuned up, and then we play for 45 minutes or so. And then I want to quit in enough time for you to get on to your next activity. So I will be a lot tighter with time frames this fall, since I know lots and lots of us will be in some sort of a little bit more normal schedule. If you have a job, which hopefully you've figured out those aren't going to work out. I had a job once. I didn't like it. You have a boss, right? But even if you have a job, right, and you want to come join the live session, you can maybe plan your lunch hour around it, something like that. That's what my hope is. And so we're going to be working on that. I am not completely convinced I'm going to do this, but I'm probably going to have a harmonica class, then an intro to ukulele class, then an advanced ukulele class, then probably a baritone ukulele class, and still the guitar class. So I'm going to try to have plenty of opportunities for players to get better. And I kind of think that you should let people know we're doing that, especially if you know people who are doing homeschooling. My goodness, let them know that they got a free resource here to teach music. Parents don't know how to teach music, right? They don't. They might know how to play it, but teaching it is a different thing. And if you know people that are doing homeschooling, they're like, God, I don't know how to get my son or daughter or my team any kind of meaningful music lessons. Okay. Every day at noon coming up starting August 24th. And I'm going to push it just a little bit. I do think what we're doing here makes a lot of sense for people who can't get music education any other way. Okay. All right. Colorado Trail. This is one of my favorite songs. I don't know why. I grew up in Colorado. I had never heard the song ever. And then when I found it, I was like, boy, I really like that song. It sounds really lovely. And I went and started looking around for sheet music, and it turns out it's in every single cowboy book, all the old-fashioned cowboy books. This used to be a popular song. A lot of people did it. A lot of cowboys that, do these cowboy shows, they still do it. But if you're not a cowboy, you don't know the song. And I just really I really liked it. And then I have a friend, Bob, who is a great guitarist here in Denver, and he says, I don't like your version of Colorado Trail. I don't like all those minor chords. It makes it too sad. And so it's very sad. Laura is dead, by the way, when this song starts. She's beautiful. I think she's 16 when she dies. And it's super sad because she's dead. And so she's underneath the cross of wood, right? So that's what you do when you're a cowboy and you have to bury, your girlfriend, is you put up a cross of wood. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. It's super sad. We're in the key of F. Good news is there's no B flats. There's no B flats. Okay, yay, we're gonna be fine. All right, here we go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Eyes like the morning sun, cheeks like a rose to F chord. Laura was a pretty girl, everybody knows. 2, 3, 4. Weep all ye little rains, wail winds wail, all along the Colorado Trail. 2, 3, 4. We're going to repeat that twice, or that part twice, and then the third time through, make sure you mark your sheet music. Don't play 15 and 16. Skip over, play 17, 18, and 19. Okay, so not a super complex song, but just has a really, really pretty way about it. Okay, all right, let's get going on into your sheet music. You'll notice it's different than I usually give you. You have Uke 1, Uke 2, Uke 3. Those of you guys who are running groups, somebody's going to play the melody, somebody's going to play the boom chucks, and somebody's going to play an arpeggio. And you combine those three, and they sound pretty cool. You ought to go listen to the MP3 of this tune because it's got all of the parts on it, and you'll see there's all this activity going on. But nobody has a hard part to play. Okay, so for us here, I just want to play through the melody, and then we'll play the tough uke. But just know when you have uke 1, uke 2, uke 3, you can get 3 different players. Everybody's got their own job, and it sounds really good. When I teach this in class, sometimes we'll have 10 or, well, sometimes I have 20 or 30 people in class, but we divide it up into 3 groups, right? So a third of the group plays the melody, a third of the group plays boom chucks, and a third of the group is playing this arpeggio pattern. And everybody just stays focused in on their one job, and then you have this beautiful orchestral arrangement. Those of you who are teachers should know that that's exactly what we do with our Rocky Mountain Ukulele Orchestra. Is we just take, here's the chords, here's the melody. What can we do with the chords to make them cool? How many people do we need playing the melody? Can we bring in a second voicing on the melody, such as can low G play an octave below high G? And so we start really tuning into all of that. Sometimes we'll put in a counter melody, right? And you can write in a different competing melody with the main line, and then assign it to the right people, right? Because when we do counter melody, that's pretty tough usually. But the idea is you take chords and lyrics, okay, add in plucking from the melody, and then you're going to take however many people you have in your group and try to give them all a little bit different activity to do. And pretty soon you have this very rich texture of music that sounds really nice. And I would say for those of you who are going to be teaching, or at least we're running a small group of some sort, this would be a fun thing to start practicing on and seeing how it goes for your group. Okay, so let's run through the melody real quick. I don't have much to tell you about the melody. It sticks pretty well into the first position, as you'll see, until you get to measure 13, and then you're going to go up to 8. Okay, that's the high note. Okay, and so if you're on 8, remember your index is on 5, so you're playing 5th position, and then those notes will be right under your hand. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 3, 3, 5, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3, 4. 0, 3, 3, 5, 3, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 4. 0, 3, 3, 5, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 0, 2, 3, 4. 3, 5, 8, 5, 3, 0, 3, 1, 3, 1, 1, 0, 1. Then you would repeat that whole section. You've got 3 sets of lyrics. You're going to go through that 3 times. Just make sure the last time you skip 15 and 16. All right. If you have somebody you're playing ukulele with, have them do the boom chucks, and that's uke 2 on here. So you're going to hold the chord, but you're going to do. Okay, so you're boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck. And it doesn't sound like much when you're practicing it. And unfortunately, when you're in an orchestra, you're often practicing a piece of the total picture where your part doesn't make any sense whatsoever until you get to the big group, and then it makes perfect sense. And that's why you also want to get used to playing with those MP3s, because if you're playing with the MP3, then your part makes sense. Okay, so you go listen to the MP3 and you play these boom chucks, uke 2, boom chuck, boom chuck, boom chuck, and then it makes sense what you're doing. The other thing, just note, when cowboy music is very, very common to do that boom chuck, boom chuck, boom. You'll see a lot of, if you ever watch a cowboy play guitar, right? Thumb something, some something, thumb, and then they always have these amazing voices, and that are just playing the chords, but they're doing a boom chuck in it, and it makes it sound very cowboy-ish. Okay, and so you got a little bit of a boom chuck to practice here. Kind of fun. Play along with the MP3, and then you'll see how it works out. The other one, which you guys are experts at, is the arpeggio picking, and then you've got a note on every. You've got the same exact pattern on every single measure. I made sure that the pattern was always the same. You just play 1-0-0-3, 1-0-0-0-3, 1-0-0-0-1-0. So if you are playing that part, a lot of times you won't be doing anything interesting until you get to a half note, and all of a sudden you're kind of the star, right? Or if they've got any kind of a dotted note in there, you may be the only one playing a specific moment. And so again, if you're dividing up into parts, you probably want to put your newest player on melody, your next newest player onto boom chucks, your more experienced player onto that arpeggio, and then you as the leader of the group, you're probably just straight chords, or you're possibly running the tough uke, right? So hopefully that'll give you a piece of music that's kind of fun to mess around with. Lindy finally made it in. Lindy's attendance has been terrible. Okay. Let's see. Staff meeting. Oh, God. You know, if you just quit your job and play ukulele full time, you don't have staff meetings anymore. I have no staff meetings. Okay. And I have no income as well. All right. Little income. This is not the way to get rich. Let's go on to tough uke. Okay. Nice and slow. Play with me. Not a tough one. I will tell you there's one challenge. Okay. I gave you this D minor with your pinky up here on 5. Okay, I gave you that, and that's going to be tough for some of you. The problem is if I give you this D minor, a bar on 5 with a ring on 7, which I thought about doing, you're going to do blum, and now you've got to be all the way down here right away, and it's just a lot of motion. Okay, and so I opted for the D minor with your pinky up here because I think that there's going to be less motion to do that. Try it both ways and figure out which is going to work best for you. But I did give you and I know some of you are like, I will never do that D minor with a 5. Okay, that's what I want you to do, but you may not ever be able to do that. In which case, you've got to switch to the bar on 5, ring finger on 7 to play that D minor. Okay, that's your only other choice. And it felt to me as I was arranging like that's a lot of distance to cover in one beat, and so that's why I chose to go with the other one. Okay, so let's try it and see how you do. Real slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eyes like the morning star, cheeks like a rose. Yeah, these are just decorative. Laura was a pretty girl. Everybody knows. 0-3-0. We've all little friends. I even missed it. Well, winds well. Along the Colorado Trail. Let's go to the top. 16 years she graced this earth. All of life was good. Now my love lies buried neath this cross of wood. Page 2. Weep all ye little wrens, winds wail. Look at the second ending. Along the Colorado Okay, so it's sad, but it's pretty. Okay, another one of these. It's not. And unlike Clementine, which is hilarious when she's dead, uh, because the narrator is such a creep. Colorado Trail, we feel so sad for the narrator. And while it's a relatively simple song, there's plenty in there to keep your tough uke juices flowing. So there's that. All right, final thoughts here. How are we doing on time? Good. Tomorrow we're going to tackle key of G arpeggio. Those of you who are newer players, this means you have arrived, right? When you're working on key of G arpeggio, it's not as hard as the F, but it's pretty daggone hard. And then we're going to do Estudio by Torrega, which is a classic guitar piece, and I was able to just drop it directly onto ukulele. It sounds really nice. I lost the bass notes with the thumb. Other than that, it is dead on exactly what Torrega wrote, and it is really, really a fun piece. You're going to play it slow, but you want to play it beautifully, and you're going to use your claw. You're going to be doing a lot of triplets in that piece, and so you might want to take a look at that tonight. It's really worth it. We have a beautiful week of songs this week, by the way. On Friday, I'm looking at the list of songs we're going to play. It is a nice group of music. So hopefully it's being meaningful to you, and hopefully that's by the time we get to Friday, I can play it and you can play it, and we're all going to be so proud of ourselves. I think that's it. Remember, if you want the super secret double song assignment, send me an email. I will post something up on the website about how to transfer files via your phone and Dropbox. I can't think of any easier way to do it, and I think for some of you, your first venture into the cloud will be very exciting. Just so you know, those of you who don't know, the word the cloud, all it means is somebody else's computer. That's what the cloud is. It's somebody else's computer. So you don't want to put everything in the cloud, but you want to put some stuff that's it's okay to put some. It's okay to put your ukulele videos in the cloud. All right, that's it. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Stay inside. Stay away from this. If you are down south, seriously stay out of this, and we'll keep moving forward. We're going to keep this going until everybody is pushing Jake off the stage. So good to see all of you guys, and hopefully I answered everybody's questions over here. Let's see. Oh, school virtual staff. Okay, I talked about Lindy. Lindy, we got to get you. We got to have you fight somebody. Let's see. Linda, good to see. Linda number 3, good to see you. Carol, I love Colorado Trail. It's a good song. It's a really good song. Valerie, very pretty. Finally, a cowboy song. I know I'm not a big cowboy song guy either, but people love cowboy songs. So that's if you got to have one, this is a good one. Pauline, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Lanny, are you going to be here tomorrow, Lanny? Or are you off to the land of milk and honey? Oh, I think you're going on Friday. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, bud. Sandy, I emailed you for a song. Good night. It's 5:00 somewhere. It's 5:00, right? All right, go have a beer. Lynn, I'm interested in seeing the fingering for measure 3 on it. Oh yeah. We'll work on it tomorrow, Lynn. It's absolutely, yeah. Measure 3 is the problem. Absolutely. You found it. Renee, trying to catch up with this. Oh, good. Good, Renee. So glad that went well. We knew it would go well, right? We knew that. These doctors are amazing. So glad to see everything came out just fine. We are so lucky we live in a world where they can lay you on a table, put you to sleep, you wake up, and you're better. Isn't that incredible? It's incredible to think that that's a thing that we really get to do. All right, Manette. Good to see you, Marie. Hasta mañana. All right, we're feeling very, very, very Latinx today with our Cucaracha. Let's see. And by the way, there was a ton of Hispanic cowboys as well. Let's see. Ernest. Ernest. Alan, good to see you, bud. Glad you were here. Phyllis, great song. Keep it up. Yay. Thanks so much. Have a great evening, Phyllis. Jacqueline, good to see you. Elizabeth, thank you. See you tomorrow. I'm glad to see you. I hope I get to see you tomorrow, Elizabeth. It makes me super excited that you're around, Kat. Thank you, around. All right, Kat. We got your marching orders about telling them you're too busy to do university stuff, so you just gotta do ukulele stuff. They both start with you. It's fine. Joyce, good to see you. Oh yeah, I didn't know you were here today, Joyce. Good to see you. Chris, thanks. You're welcome. Glad to see you. Vicky, you're in for the long haul now. You had your vacation, so now you're here every day. Good. Oh, Linda number 3 has already tabbed out the secret song. All right. Okay, she's on it. And Q, read my note about Buffalo Gals. About Buffalo Gals. Did you disappear? No, oh, Nome, Alaska in the Goldfields. Oh, really? Buffalo Gals refers to pioneer. Oh, fascinating, Q. I'm going to go read the Wikipedia article. I don't know if I ever have. I usually read the first sentence to find out what year it was posted. So thank you for giving me tips. I'll go take a look, Q. Thanks for everything, you guys. Hitting the end of the stream. Have a wonderful day. Be safe, and I will see you mañana.